So, in the third quarter of 2018, we know that the NASD OTC kind of recorded some 19.47% uptick in capitalization to 485.11 billion naira. As this week, of course, we've also seen some 20% year-to-date performance this week in that same market, and that is, of course, reflective in its index as well. Let's join Mr. Bola Ajimale, the CEO of this exchange, for some analysis for, of course, the latest developments in the markets. You have been far from us, I don't know why, but then it's good to have you again on the show this evening.
Nice to be here.
Thanks a great deal. So what have you really done differently this time to bring back this huge level of recovery that we've seen at the NASD OTC?
I think, thanks for having us again. Markets go in waves, and there are periods when investors are interested in getting to some companies. What we have is the character of investors who are coming into the NASD OTC. We've seen a lot of investors, large investors, coming in and taking up big stakes in especially the healthier, the stronger, and the companies that have extremely strong fundamentals. And so for on about between 5 and 10 securities out of the 39 that are trading on the market, about 10 of them, we've seen large investors coming in and taking up stakes.
Does that mean that with the level at which we're seeing the exit of foreign investors, offshore investors from the Nigerian capital market at large, the debt market, the equity market, they are not leaving the NASD OTC?
I think we're seeing quite a few investors coming into the NASD OTC. Some of them are foreign. Some of them, quite a few of them, are private equity firms. And private equity firms, as you know, can be characterized as foreign, but they actually do have, a lot of the time, they have a Nigerian content and local content as well. So I would not say foreigners are moving out of the market. I think they're just changing their investment strategy. For those who are interested in Nigeria long-term, this is the time to come in. And for those who are looking at, well, let's get through the political let's get through March first before we invest. This is probably the time when they want to return to cash.
But you know, usually it is when the market goes down the drain that investors really want to come in and then, you know, with an eye for the long-term investment. But here we are, you're saying right now that it's the time to come in. I mean, your market looks to have been at its peak, an all-time high right now.
Exactly, and that's because Nigeria remains a slightly undervalued, Nigeria investment has remained a slightly undervalued asset for quite a long while. So really, as good a time as any to get into Nigeria, if you have a long-term perspective, if you have a 4 to 5 year perspective on investment, then this is a great time to come into the country.
So that's to say that prices at the NASD OTC are still really low right now. Is that what you're saying?
I believe they. I think the analysts would be able to.
Will be the ones.
Would be best.
As a regulator, you won't want to say that. But so much has been done in the area of financial reporting, transparency, price discovery at the NASD OTC. Give us a sense of this company's performance as they are right now.
Okay, so even though we say we're not directly regulating the issuers,
I know,
and we regulate the operations of the brokers and the of the participating institutions, what we do is we also track as information is being released by the companies. Of the 39, 16 of them have had AGMs this year, and we anticipate that quite a few of them will still have their annual general meetings towards the end of the year. So we do actually track their reporting. We do not go above the requirements of SEC, but SEC requires that every public company should release its results within a month, its quarterly results, within a month of the end of the quarter. So we just monitor to make sure that they do that. We don't sanction them for not doing it, but we monitor to make sure that they comply with SEC.
We have also seen some kind of mergers and acquisition. At the point in time, there was even a kind of suspension, technical or full suspension on one of the companies. I guess that was Ensure PLC for the takeover, which is now to be done by Alliance, who is so interested in Nigeria. Tell us more about these M&As. How's that been playing out in the platform?
Well, maybe I'll start from the industry side first of all, from the segment side. The insurance segment, I think, is going to go through a certain amount of recapitalization. I think there will be some very interesting investments coming into that space over the next couple of months. I think this is just the first in quite a few that we'll see. Alliance has developed an interest in expanding, especially expanding in this part of the world, and Ensure seems to be a good fit for them. So they've come in and bought up about 90%, if not more, of that company since it was available. At their extraordinary general meeting, I think yesterday, they also approved a rights issue. They approved a change of name. So it's all in the normal course of business. You run your business, develop it to a certain level, and somebody else will come and want to buy it off your hands. That's the way investments go. You can sell that and move on to something else. So.
But you also have a couple of other securities. I know you have a couple of bonds tradable there. How's the performance this time?
We are not primarily a bond trading platform, so we do trade fixed income instruments when they come our way. However, that isn't our core focus. And so it's just an add-on for some of the existing clients that we have on the market.
How about private equity? I know you're really keen about that.
Okay, so the private equity industry is probably one of the most exciting things that can come into the capital market at the moment. And that's because they mobilize funds, long-term funds, which is what most companies require, not loans, not short-term loans that they have to keep rolling over, but actually long-term capital that will help them grow. We have a huge growth potential and growth industry. We have engaged the mini-grids, energy, agriculture, different fields, all of them growing the fintech industry, and private equity is poised to actually invest in them.
But that is available on NASD now?
That's available to quite an extent in NASD through our enterprise portal.
Interesting.